All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am istherenoonelse, and today's video, we are going to read Gina Bruno's forum post that came out about 4 hours ago titled Upcoming PTS Combat and Balance Adjustments. So yeah, title seems pretty self-explanatory. I haven't read it yet. Let's see what she has to say. Hi everyone. We wanted to take a minute to give you some insight into some additional changes coming to the PTS affecting combat and balance. As we continue reading through your feedback from testing these changes, we determined that some of our goals were actively competing with each other and not reaching the target audiences in ways we intended. We ultimately want to help raise the floor and reduce the ceiling in regards to DPS output, while simultaneously improving class balance in some problematic areas. So far, this has led to competing changes that have hurt some groups of players despite us stating we didn't want to actively harm playstyles with any particular change. We are committed to following through with additional ways to mitigate these issues while still meeting our intended goals. With all that said, in next week's PTS patch, you'll find that we will be re-evaluating some of the adjustments to light and heavy attacks so they are a bit less drastic. Okay, so it won't be as substantial of a nerf. We'll see what happens on Monday. Light and heavy attacks will once again scale with your stats, just to a lesser extent than before. Overall, there will still be a nerf on light attack damage, but this will allow us to give a lot more love to heavy attacks and will be less stark of a difference. So this is a good change. I've talked about this a lot from a PvP perspective and kind of posted different threads of people dueling, basically stating that, damage is so low on PTS, good players can't really kill each other. And that's problematic because if in a 1v1 situation and all damage sets, you can't kill each other, you're not going to be killing each other when you get into open world and you're building a little bit more bulk and there's a lot more cross healing. And so it's going to make for a very tanky patch from a PvP perspective. From a PvE perspective, I've been reading some threads, I've been following some other people, and basically like heavy attack builds lost like half of their DPS this patch. And so heavy attack builds are, it's not a light attack weaving rotation, it's just a heavy attack rotation, and it's supposed to be a different playstyle that wasn't impacted by these changes, but it was drastically impacted. And it wasn't like it didn't lower the ceiling, it actually lowered the floor, or lowered mid-tier actions per minute, APM as they call it. And so when you look at these changes, I've talked about it a lot, went through some things, kind of showed you guys different threads last week and everything. A lot of these changes weren't accomplishing what they're trying to accomplish. And I think a lot of the players, myself included, agree that it's more than fine to put lower the DPS ceiling, because a lot of content has gotten easier. Not all of it, but a lot of it has, just because DPS is so high. But at the same time, if you want to provide other rotations, parses, and stuff like that, like different builds for people, it's my belief that more builds is better than less builds. But this was the opposite of that. It was going to be a lot more cookie cutter in order to reach the numbers that you wanted to reach, and it was going to shoehorn you more into a light attack weaving playstyle because nothing else was really viable. And only the light attack proc sets were putting you in a situation to compete. So, yeah, I think this reversion makes a lot of sense. Hopefully we'll see. Hopefully the changes are good to where it actually does what they want to do here. Most people are on board with both these things. So I wanted to get that out there because I still keep getting conflicting points of view on this. Like, oh, you don't like this? And it's like, no, it just doesn't accomplish what they say they're trying to accomplish. So we'll have to see. There will also be a handful of tweaks to some class abilities in next week's PTS patch based on feedback we've received, but the majority of these will come in the final PTS patch. Note that the focus of these adjustments will be on Magicka-based Nightblades. Oh my, let's go. Sorry, I'm like grinning from ear to ear right now. I've been wanting to play Magicka, like an actual Magicka-based Nightblade for a while. Magicka-based Wardens and Sorcerers. Awesome stuff like that. That's really good to hear because all these classes need buffs. So from a PvP perspective, like definitely it's really cool to see this stuff being viable. The more stuff that's viable, the more stuff that's balanced in PvP, the more variety you're going to see and the more fun it is to play. Like, let's be honest, guys, it's fun when one class is really strong, right? Like whether it's Magplar, MagDK, whatever. Strong classes are fun. wouldn't it be fun if all classes had their own strengths and they could compete? It's not currently the case. So stuff like this makes a lot of sense, and hopefully we can get them there. But yeah, additionally for Dungeons and Trials, we'll be reducing the health of all bosses on veteran difficulty and above in the final PTS patch to account for the overall DPS loss. For Trials specifically, we'll be reducing the health of all champions and bannermen on veteran difficulty and above. The reduction in health for each boss will vary from encounter to encounter, but the results should be that each dungeon and trial boss fight will provide a similar challenge to what it is on live currently. Then why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Like, why are we lowering the DPS if the... I'm going to finish reading, sorry. The trial bannermen and champions provide a challenge in their own right, so we felt additional adjustments were warranted. Okay, I don't know much about bannermen and champions. Maybe one of you guys can chime in and explain to me, like, if the goal is to lower the DPS so that fights lasted a little bit longer, like that's typically why you lower DPS, why are you also lowering the health so it's the same? Like, it just kind of... From my naive perspective, and I'm admittedly saying, like, I don't know, I don't understand this. So if one of you guys knows, please let me know. But yeah, we recognize there's been a lot of concern surrounding the combat changes currently on the PTS, and we truly believe with some continued adjustments and iterations, this is the best course of action for the long-term health of the game. We're also working on a brief Q&A that should help address some of the more general questions surrounding these changes. Thanks for reading and, of course, taking the time to provide so much in-depth and valuable. Good to hear. Like, I was talking to my Discord about this. This is the first patch that has ever, in my opinion, been so universally disliked by everybody. It's been crazy. Like, I have never seen a patch this disproportionate to other patches. Like, sometimes it's PvE, sometimes it's PvP. It's never both. And so this is the first time where, like, I can remember that it's both. And so I'm looking at this and I'm just like, okay, if there's ever a patch, and this is my point of view, I want to, sorry, my girls are giggling. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I don't know if you guys, well, from my point of view is this. If this patch couldn't get the development team to change, revert, it just changes, they're never going to. Like that was my thought. And so this came out earlier this week, about 4 days ago. For player transparency, please do not agree, whatever. It's a poll. Do you feel your feedback as an ESO customer is valued? It's got 480 votes. 4% said yes, 93% said no, that they don't feel like their feedback is valued. And keep in mind, guys, this is the forums. Like, if I did a similar post like this on my YouTube channel, we're a little bit more negative here in the YouTube community than the forums. It would have been 95, 96, 97, just a different community, right? So the fact that a more positive community like the forums is 93% no says a lot as to where this current patch is. And so I think it's great. I think it's great that they're listening to feedback. I think it's great that they're making these changes. I still have concerns that they're going to get everything figured out. Like, they're coming through with a bunch of changes the last week of the PTS. Are you going to do any changes? Like, if something breaks, are you willing to make changes quickly, knowing that it's the last week of the PTS and if this stuff goes live, it could be broken? Like, those are the things that I'm still slightly, like, those would be my concerns, but we'll have to see what Monday brings. On top of all this, I wanted to bring forward one more thing. I saw this posted. Somebody asked about Nocturnal's ploy. Has this been adjusted? And Gina said, yes, there's an adjustment on the cooldown plan for this set in Monday's PTS patch. Now, we will see what it is. I still think Nocturnal's ploy just shouldn't go live as it is. Make it a debuff system, change it entirely. But the idea of removing people's buffs is very strong. And like it'll either be broken or it will be unusable. And I don't think there's a good middle ground for this type of set. That's just my opinion. It's my opinion. You can agree to disagree, whatever, but I wanted to bring that up also because people, I'm sure, will ask, because yeah, that's probably the biggest concern on PvP. So glass half full, the optimist point of view. Light attacks are coming up, which means damage is coming up. They're buffing lower tier classes like Mag Sork, Blade Magdin, which is great. They've nerfed Oakensoul in PvP, and if they need buffs in PvE, like separated through Battle Spirit, I'm more than okay. I think that's fine. Oakensoul is still going to be good. Kalurian's got a proper adjustment for gankers, but it's still going to be good. It didn't get gutted. All these changes are really, really good, guys. And so it'll be interesting to see what the light attacks are. It'll be interesting to see what the overall damage feels like. It's just going to be kind of one of those test and see sorts of things. But these are good steps in the right direction. And this is the first time during this patch, these PTS tests, where it actually feels like it's going in the right direction. Like this last patch, High Isle, has been... PvP is a mixed bag of fun and annoyance. I mean, if you guys are in PvP, you know this. If you're a ganker, God, you love it. Yeah, I know you love it. If you're anybody else, you're probably a little frustrated sometimes. And so there's a lot of imbalance right now. There's not a lot of just like fun and a variety of things you can run. It's just basically a few different sets plus a specific mythic. So these things coming down and being more balanced mean that there's going to be more build variety. There's going to be more diversity. Be able to hop to different classes. You won't feel like you're shoehorned into one specific thing. So I think this is all kind of promising. We'll see. That's the glass half full perspective. The glass half empty perspective, the more negative perspective, is we only got a couple more weeks of the PTS and you're reverting everything. And we've gotten this far. We've gotten 3 weeks into the PTS for you to go back. Is this enough time? Is this enough time to get these changes in? Is the last couple weeks of the PTS enough time to make all these balance changes, to make all these adjustments? I don't know. I'm not a dev, and I'm never going to claim to be or anything like that, but that would be my concern. I think it's awesome. I'm going to say it once again. I think it's awesome that they're doing a Q&A on this because they got a lot of flack for this. Like this is, like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen it this bad. You go to any other content creator's channel and they're talking about this patch. Like I haven't seen many people super optimistic about this. And so people that are plugged in don't seem optimistic. People that aren't plugged in couldn't care less. So yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. I don't want to make it too much longer. I just wanted to get that out there for you guys because I love you guys. It's Friday. I want you to have a fun weekend. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.